What's up out there? Welcome back to some more Melvor Idle Hardcore. This is Gen 2, episode 66. Now, we've had the whole speedrun events that we did. Those have now completed. And unfortunately, I didn't get to beat either one of them. I was at the end of Internal Suffering, but didn't get through that one. And the Hardcore Combat Only was, going fairly well, but just didn't get enough time to do it, or I didn't push it as far as I could have. But in the meantime, I've been working on normal hardcore, regular hardcore, whatever you want to call it. And you may be wondering why I'm fighting Pegasus at this point. I should be fighting all the in-game stuff, and I'll get into that here in a second. But let's go through. Actually, you know what? Let me run out of here for a second because I'm going to change some gear slots, and we need to look at things. So I have been working on completion, and we are now at 98.33%. 99.56 items, 98.7 for monsters, and 93.3 for pets. So for pets, I still need to go through and grind out the Infernal Stronghold. I need to finish Into the Mist, I think 4 more times probably, and then do the Impending Darkness event itself. So there's 3 pets left. Monster-wise, the only monster left is Bane in the Impending Darkness event itself, so there's no other monsters I have to worry about. And then as far as items go, we have all the items. Actually, you know what? I forgot there's the undiscovered. So there's very few items left to get obtained here. And the Shield of Melee Power, Ranged Power, Magic Power, Ring of Power, and then the Relentless Fury Ring. So I've basically ground out everything in the game except for pretty much the Impending Darkness event and a couple dungeon pets, and that's about it. What I have been working on is, and I've got all the undead essence, I just need to get enough of the fighter ring. So I've been going back into the Fire God dungeon and running that. I'm not going to run it right this second because this is hardcore and I can die. I want to make sure that I want to watch the dungeon while I do it and then let it run. There's one creature in there right towards the end that hits really hard, and I like to make sure I have enough damage reduction and everything set up. Basically, I'm running this range setup in it just to make sure, because I don't want my character to die. But so I've been running other things in the interim, basically these hard slayer tasks. So let's dive in. I now have 3 Fury of the Elemental Zodiacs. There's one equipped on my magic character and one equipped on my ranged. I went ahead and did that early. That way I have these for all of the end game. I can do Into the Mist with this. Into the Mist will benefit from it because each of the combat styles will now have a Fury of the Elemental Zodiacs, and I have to switch around with them. I can just gear up and go in and fight it. So it's going to be kind of cool going in with this end game stuff, like the fighter ring and things like that, where you can stun and just do mass damage. Or poison or burning madness with the fire and stuff like that. It's going to be kind of cool. Or you can do this as a bleed setup. I might tinker around with Into the Mist and see how those go. But with the passive slot and all of the end game gear, this will be kind of interesting to go through Into the Mist. So I now have 3 Fury of the Elemental Zodiacs. Those are great. They give you, I think they give you 3% damage reduction. So if you have an Elite Amulet of Defense, you only get 2%. This gives you 3, plus all the other bonuses you get with it. Like you get all these different stab, slash, melee, magic, all the different bonuses there. So I've got 3 of those. I had to go in and grind out the Earth God dungeon a little bit more so that I could get the, wherever it's at. It's probably equipped on somebody here. This spiked shell ring, I had to go get this out of the Earth God dungeon. I needed more rings for it. I mean, I ground out the red claws to get this, but then I had to go grind out, some more rings, which is the same thing I'm at here. I had to go grind out the greater skeletals and then come back to get the fighter ring and all that. I've got the Relentless Fury gloves. I just need the Relentless Fury ring. And I have 6 of those. Yeah, I have 1 equipped and there's 5. So I've got 6 of them. The Red Claw grind is done, as I mentioned, and I had never bought Auto Slayer, and I remembered specifically I didn't buy it because I didn't want to accidentally click on it and forget about it and then end up fighting something real thick and dying. So I finally bought Auto Slayer, and I've been letting that run on these tasks basically to build up Slayer coin. That's kind of why I've been running this and why I just leave it go overnight, get a little extra Slayer coin, which we're going to get into here in a second. Did the Greater Skeletal. I had to craft up a bunch of Centaur tabs. I ran out of those, so I had to go make those and some damage reduction potions. I've been running these in the Fire God dungeon just to make sure that I can get through it. I don't want to die at this stage. I'm so close to the end. I just want to hang on to it. Let's see. And then the reason I've been working on the Slayer coin is because I like to have an extra helmet for each one of these. Because once you get into, once you're into the Unhallowed Wasteland, when you're fighting these individual creatures, with whatever style you're going to be fighting them with, you know, you're going to have 3 pieces of Slayer gear on, which is easy to do when you're not going to use the other styles of combat. When you get into the Impending Darkness event, you have to switch between them really quickly. So you need to have 3 pieces of gear for every one of them, which means having an extra piece of the Slayer gear, helmet or chest piece or whatever. I usually just do the helmet, and then I'll equip whatever for whatever. So if I'm doing melee, I would equip these 3 pieces right here. Magic, I would equip these 3 pieces here, and you know, so on. There's no rhyme or reason to it, just that I match the style. Like well, actually it would be ranged. It doesn't make a difference, but I usually put, with the melee character, I'll do the melee helmet and chest piece, and then the ranged helmet. The passive on it is what you're going for, but I just do that because it's going to match the combat style I would put melee up against. It doesn't make a difference. It's more of an aesthetic thing for me, because if I mix match them, maybe it's a little OCD, but if I mix match them, it just feels weird. When we did that Internal Suffering event, I think I matched them to the opposite combat triangle, just so it helped me make sense. So I was seeing what I was trying to fight, you know, in visual form, I guess. So, there we are. We have made some huge progress. This account is very close to being at 100%, and we're getting really close to being ready for the 120 expansion. So I don't know when that's coming. We're in September. They said Q3 of this year, so hopefully it is soon and not delayed. I kind of half expected it to be writing in after the Internal Suffering speed run and all that, but it didn't. So I don't know. Maybe we'll find out soon. But that is where we are, and that will do it for this episode. Next episode is probably going to be Impending Darkness, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. Anyway, that will do it for this one. We'll catch you on the next one. Take care.